Hi, this is Chris Hicks, and what you're about to see is a 1-minute video of my encounter with Jim Comodeca, who is the president of the Clermont County Convention and Visitors Bureau, CVB, at East Fork Lake. I posted this video and sent the email to just a few people about the video, but I've noticed a spike in the number of people watching the video, and I want to make sure that the note that went with it, that what happened and how it got to that point is clear to everybody. So over a month ago at this point, David Ubel on, I believe it was 6/11/2017, offered to meet with anybody about the secret tax for the secret plan for FC Cincinnati. On 6/12, when I asked, and some other people actually asked for a meeting, Mr. Ubel informed us that he was too busy to have meetings and we needed to go to the CVB. So on June 13th, 2017, I had gone to the CVB asking for information, and at that time I found that the info at Clermont, visit ClermontOhio.com address on the CVB website doesn't even work. It still doesn't. I went back to David Ubel, and he gave me an email address that I should use to contact the CVB to get the meeting and the information that I wanted. So that was 6/13, and what happened was on July 12th, I had gone to the Board of County Commissioners meeting, and at that meeting, after that meeting, I walked down to the CVB office. And this is what happened when I walked down to the CVB office, and I want to just read exactly what was in the email to make sure anybody that sees the 1-minute video knows the context. So on 7/12/2017 around noon, Tracy Dierko greeted me at the CVB office. I asked to see the minutes I had requested, specifically one showing an NDA being approved for going into executive session for an NDA, or if that was too hard, to just let me have the minutes for the last 2 years so I could study them. She told me, Tracy told me at that time, that copies had been made and Jim Comodeca had those copies with him and that he was at East Fork Lake. I asked her to call him to confirm that he was there and he had the minutes, and I would go get them. She got him on the line, and he told her he could not give them to me and we could, quote, talk about this next week. I was insistent, but he refused, saying he was too busy because of the rowing competition, and the call ended. I then asked Tracy in the office if I could see the on-file copies of the minutes of the CVB. So she again called Jim Comodeca to see if he would let her show me the on-file versions of the CVB minutes. So it says, I then asked Tracy to see the minutes on file in the office. She called Comodeca again and asked if she could let me see the minutes on file. The answer was no. And at that time, I told her and Jim that I was going to come to East Fork Lake and see if I could retrieve the minutes. At that time, I also contacted Chris Ham, who is the president of the board, to make sure that he was aware that I had been denied minutes. So fast forward about 4:15 p.m. on July 12th, my son and I went to East Fork Lake. My son's a student driver and was getting in some of his driving hours. So this is what the email said that went with the video. Late in the afternoon, my son and I arrived at East Fork. We found the CVB tent and asked if Comodeca was there. The guy we talked to said he would check, and that if Comodeca were there, he would be down the gravel road to the boathouse. He then called Comodeca, they talked, and he then came back and told us that Comodeca was not on site at East Fork Lake. It seemed sketchy, so my son and I immediately walked down the gravel road to see what we could find. As we were going down the road, a truck passed us leaving. We thought it might actually be him in the truck, so we actually took a picture of the truck that was in the email. We kept walking down the road. About halfway down the road, my son asked if I knew exactly what he looked like. I've never met Jim Comodeca until this event. And I went to the site. We stopped along the road, and I went to the site on my phone to try to look up a picture of Jim. So it says we kept walking down the road and stopped along the way to look up his picture, having never met him. The truck came back and pulled up to the boathouse building. It was about to leave when we got there, and I asked the driver, are you Jim Comodeca? It was. There was about 1 or 2 minutes of me saying, Jim, where are the minutes? At the office, they said, you have copies for me. We went back and forth. It was the first time my son had experienced me asking the same thing over and over again, to which I'm entitled. So my son started chiming in, aren't you breaking the law, real public service, and things of that effect. Listening to Jim and his woe is me excuses for why we couldn't see the minutes that supposedly had already been copied frankly, I don't understand why they didn't just keep them at the office and tell me the minutes were at the office and I could come pick them up. But we had smiles on our faces. It was one of the most absurd, ridiculous experiences I've seen of somebody denying access to records. So it said in the email, the president of our CVB in a pickup truck denying minutes that his staff said they had copied for me. It's absurd. Any event, I had my camera in my hand and I took a picture of Jim in his truck. So at that time I took a picture of him in his truck and he started commenting about recording, which I had not done up to that point, but it sounded like a good idea. So I started recording. And that is the video you're about to see, that 1 minute video, which is not edited at all. It's all that I recorded. He makes some comment about me turning it on and off. I turned it on when he mentioned recording, when I pulled it out to take a picture of him, and I left it on for the duration of the conversation. So I want everybody to be clear when you watch this video is that I only went to the CVB because David Ubel told me to go there because he was too busy to have the meetings that he promised to have with people. I went to the CVB a month ago using an email address that David Ubel specifically gave me in writing that I should use to get information. A week ago, I went to the CVB asking more specifically for minutes and a copy of the NDA. I focused on the minutes in the discussion you're about to hear because Chris Ham, who's the president of the board, had told me that the NDA part might require more legal review to be able to provide it. But under Ohio law, the minutes I don't think should be any issue to provide to me in real time. Yesterday, which was on 7/12, was the first time anybody from the CVB ever got back to me. So more than a month after David Ubel said the CVB would answer questions because they had a staff that had the time and bandwidth to answer questions. On 7/12, just to be clear for the record, I was legally denied. I was denied minutes to which I believe I'm legally entitled. Nobody has ever said I'm not legally entitled to them, and I believe a CVB is subject to records requirements because it's a quasi-governmental type body, and I've researched that quite thoroughly. And I told Tracy and Jim, and I told Chris Ham at the time I was standing in the office being told I wasn't allowed to see the on-file minutes, that I was going to go to East Fork Lake. So that's a scoop. I hope you find this enjoyable. I find it comical, and I just really deplore when officials and organizations that are supposed to be working for the public and have the public trust go through these kind of ruses, shell games, Jim's not on site stuff to try to keep me from being able to get records to which I'm legally entitled. So enjoy the video, and if you have any questions, as always, feel free to call me. My office line is 513-201-7902, and my mobile number is 513-289-4341. Thank you.
Where's the minutes then?
I'm doing a lot of good stuff for this community, and you can tape me all you want.
Okay.
I'm trying to do the best I can.
Jim, the woman in the CVB office said you had the minutes
Chris,
to give to
and
me.
what I told you this
Where
morning,
are the minutes?
Why are you avoiding it? Where is the... You stop yelling at me, son. Where is...
Can I have the minutes that you supposedly have copies of that are for me?
I told you I would deal with
Why
you
do I have
next
to
week.
wait for another week?
Why do you need them?
Because I want to research them to look at and have an attorney look at them to see if the NDA was properly
Give me your
approved.
attorney's name and I'll call him.
No, I don't have to do that. I'm a citizen. I want to see the minutes.
I know you're a citizen and I'm a citizen, and I'm trying to make a difference here. And your son's laughing at me and mocking me, and you're mocking me, and I don't appreciate it. You only turn that little thing on when you're not mocking me.
Okay.
Try to be a little more professional, my friend.
Yeah, that's...
Where's the minutes, Jim? Where's the minutes?
Driving
You're not supposed to be here right now, sir.